back before you went in, so like late 80s, early 90s, before you got warehoused for a spell in the Missouri penitentiary system, what would you consider like the biggest differences between living that life in Kansas City versus what people saw in the movies or on TV shows? Like what was like the practical reality in KC at the time?
Well, that's the thing. You got to understand, when I was younger, I guess I fell off into the hype of Hollywood, but now I'm a little older looking back on it. Times were never that tough and they were never that good. Not with the Kansas City guys and the Kansas City operation. This is the thing you got to know. I was always on the outside looking in. Because when I was growing up in Lawrence, I had a buddy of mine by the name of Chad Ward. And Chad and I ended up having a falling out because I fucked that whole thing off. But Chad was a class act man and pretty short kid. And I mentioned his name because somewhere there's there's benefit to that. And there's an extreme compliment there looking back. But Chad had a very matter of fact but humorous way of putting things. And I ran around kind of with the jocks and the popular kids back in high school because I was always the guy that had the little weed connection or could get them booze with my fraudulent ID saying I was 18 when I was only 16. So they thought I was a pretty cool kid. And Chad, so all our buddies branched off and did things the right way and enrolled in KU because in-state tuition back then was pretty cheap. And most of them pledged a fraternity. And Chad had a buddy one time, and Chad pledged. I can't remember what he was, but I know one of our good friends became a Delta Chi. A couple girls I know went Delta, and thank God for that because visitation days down there, Jesus Christ, you couldn't get a better set of girls to look at and talk to. But at any rate, so Chad's buddy is like, so you want me to come pledge this frat? He's like, so when we went to their country club week last week, which is, country club and is the week where they try and snatch up all, it's like a 500 kegger on the streets of KU. They shut KU off and all the frats and sororities. It's a great time for any kid growing up in America. Pledge week and country club week at all those places. But he's like, so let me get this right. He goes, last time when we went, he goes, half the guys wanted to beat our ass because half of us were still seniors in high school, and the other few of us had graduated a couple years before, and they were thinking of pledging. And they were like, I've watched guys that were pledging or having to kiss the active members' asses. They were like, guys were getting told when some of the pledges, when they were macking on some hot chick that, hey, you gotta go, somebody just puked up in the bathroom, grab a mop, cease and desist what you're doing and go clean it up. And they stopped at a moment's notice and went and did it. And then he was like, and on top of that, he goes, let me get this right. He goes, the fees, I think, I'm just going off the numbers, I'm sure are probably wrong, but he goes, plus I gotta pay like $200 a month to do that. He goes, so let me put this in perspective. So you want me to pledge your frat and pay you guys to kiss your ass and suck your dick? He was like, no, thank you.